Here with us this afternoon is our keynote speaker, Father Jonathan Morris. Father Morris is a Catholic priest of the Roman Rite in the Archdiocese of New York and a frequent news contributor and analyst for the Fox News Channel. He currently serves as one of the several vicars at the Basilica of St. Patrick's Old Cathedral in New York City. Before joining the Archdiocese, Father Morris served as vice rector at the Legionaries of Christ Seminary in Rome. He is author of the books The Promise, God's Purpose and Plan for When Life Hurts, and his newest book, God Wants You Happy, From Self-Help to God's Help. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Father Jonathan Morris.
About a year and a half ago, I received a letter, I believe it was, inviting me to come here last year. And I was very happy that the invitation was just 2 months before the event, because then I could very cordially say, it's just not going to work. It's 2 months from now. But then I began reading the follow-up letters that Doug sent, and Doug does not give up. And I began to both look at what ACIT was doing as well as what Monsignor Hartman had done. I had lived for the last 9 years in Rome, Italy. So I can't say that I'm a local Long Islander by any stretch of the imagination. But I saw that on the one hand, the ACIT was a secular organization. And on the other hand, they had recognized the life and the good works of a man who had dedicated himself to spirituality and to religion. And that fact alone, the fact that there was a secular organization that would recognize that the spiritual has something to offer to society. Does that make sense? See where I'm going? Was enough for me to say, I don't know Doug, I don't know ACIT, I don't even know, and it sounds like most of you do, I don't even know Monsignor Hartman. But I know that what these people believe in is worth supporting. And then I got to know Monsignor Hartman from a distance. I got to know him from reading about him in his columns, watching him on YouTube, and talking to you and to others and asking you, what was it about Monsignor Hartman that you appreciate, that you value? And I loved hearing especially from those who are not Catholic, who said, this man makes me a better man or woman. This man makes me a better man or woman. And in the language of ACIT, maybe we would say, this man who happens to be spiritual or religious makes me a better businessman or a better businesswoman. And as a man also dedicated to spirituality and religion, I would say a businessman, a businesswoman who is a better businessman is better for our society. And that means that our children and grandchildren will be happier. Did you follow what I said? It's really simple. We don't have to agree on everything. When Monsignor Hartman went and helped out the child of a Jewish man who was dying in the hospital, as one of you told me earlier today, because they couldn't find their own religious representative because he was busy at the time. He wasn't doing it because he believed that that would somehow make his career better, but rather because it was the right thing to do. I believe, members and friends of ACIT here in Long Island, that we are in a situation right now that we could call the battle for the American soul. The battle for the American soul. Do you know what I mean by that? It means that the traditional values, the ways of thinking about things, the ways of valuing things, the ways of recognizing importance and goodness and truth and beauty, that have brought the United States of America to what it is today are under attack. And they are under attack by a prevalent but very, I would say, deceiving philosophy that says that whatever you believe, even if it's wrong, is as truthful as what I believe, or what you believe, or what you believe. A battle for the American soul that says that nothing is better than the other thing, that nothing is more truthful than the other proposition, that nothing is more beautiful than something else. Okay, that doesn't mean that there isn't a tremendous and important room for diversity and for tolerance, as we've seen lived out in the life of Monsignor Hartman. No. But what it does mean is that there are some things that are always true and other things that are always wrong. Let me give you just a very personal example so that you know that I'm not somehow judging others and not judging myself and my church. You saw what happened in the abuse scandal that has happened in the Catholic Church that really came to light in 2002, and that has been dealt with, thank God, in a very strong way. Not that it's all gone, but in a strong way. Do you know why that happened? Because some people in power said, we are so important that we don't have to actually follow the laws of natural law. We can cover up, we can do things our own way. You see, institution is more important than the individual. That is a bunch of BS. Does that make sense? What religion and what spirituality, what the church, what Monsignor Hartman has offered the secular world that you're living in, that you're fighting in, is a moral code that says, I am not above the law and neither are you. And if we as a society decide that we're going to live for the common good and not only for our own selfish good, we're going to be better as people. The battle for the American soul right now will determine not only what type of country America will be in 10, 20, 30 years, but the type of people that your children and grandchildren will become. Do you want them to become people who say, my life is not meant for myself, but it's actually meant for others? My happiness is not dependent on how much I can get for myself, but how much I can give. You see, that's where we're at right now in our country. It's a battle. Monsignor Hartman has laid out for us a path. He's not perfect. I don't know him, but I know he's not perfect. Maybe some of you who know him very well know he's not perfect. But none of us are. But what he has said is that in his life, in his actions, is that truth and goodness and beauty are worth fighting for. And that truth and that goodness and that beauty are not meant to be pursued only by leaders of the church, but they are meant to be pursued by every single human being who has the spark of divinity, which means all of us, in my opinion. And when we work together as a community, as a county, as an island, as a business community, and we help each other become better people, that is the way towards human happiness. I don't know exactly how you should do it. I don't even know exactly how I should do it. But I know that we have to do it. Because the other alternative is just to sit back and to let society determine the type of children your children will be. the type of people your children and grandchildren will be, and that's not acceptable. We have to fight for truth. We have to fight for goodness. We have to fight for beauty. And we do that especially by forming community. I want to end my comments, and my parish is always very happy when I do, so I'm sure you will be too, by just inviting you to ask yourselves, in my business, in my family, in my community, am I doing everything? Let me start that again. In my business, in my family, in my community, am I doing everything to promote truth, goodness, and beauty? If I am, I'm being like Monsignor Hartman. I'm also living up to the values of ACIT and of the great United States of America. God bless you.